you always in a mood?
Alrighty, good morning, guys. I'm gonna turn down the music. How's that? We pumping, man. We're pumping, Joseph. Let's do a quick audio check, but let's just jump right into it. You guys can hear me? You guys can hear me, right? Before I begin. Alrighty, smash the likes, guys. Smash the likes. I'm just setting up a few tabs so we can be structured today. Today, more than ever, we're gonna need some structure. Do you guys like structure, or do you guys like the freeform style? Alrighty, let's just jump into it. I got enough tabs here. Just one quick check on everything. Seems like the audio is good. Cue in the mango intro. And let's jump into it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter, and many of you guys hate this intro, but hell, you guys are on the wrong channel, because this is how Mango began, with the absurdly loud good mornings every freaking morning. Do you guys like the morning streams? Should we bring back the morning streams? Maybe we should. Feels good. It's taking me back to the good old days. Let's see who we got here on the chat. How's it going, Zinmi? Wolvie, Wolvie's awake. Krisha's in here too, the gorgeous, the beautiful. Audio check before I continue. Music's a bit too loud on my end. Nick says he likes the freeform. Hey Paul, welcome to the Mango fam. Milady token. Okay, we're gonna take requests right now for tokens. Just now, okay, and I'm not gonna do any requests later. So if you guys want to put in your request, do it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put a note. And hey, listen, if I forget to do these tokens, don't hate on me. All right, don't hate on me. I'm not. You guys know I'm not doing all coins. Lady USD, you said? Ladies USD? Doge. I love how, like, they're all memes. Hey, Michael, how's it going, buddy? Like, we got 3 memes. These are all memes, right? I'm pretty sure ladies is a meme, Doge is a meme, SPX is a meme. XRP, there you go, another meme. Jesus Christ, so we're doing meme coins today. Before the XRP guys come in and start hating. I'm just kidding, guys, I'm just kidding. Bonk, what's going, okay, we can't do too many. I gotta put in some real coins here, guys. So we got XRP. We'll do Sol. We'll do ADA. Do you guys really want to do ADA? Every time I do ADA, the views just drop. What happened to the ADA crowd? Hey, Drop Top. Been a while, man. HBAR. Oh, you know what? I haven't done HBAR in a while. Like, let's do HBAR. Meg asks for HBAR. Could someone ping Elena and tell her Mango's live on her timing? We want to represent more. We want more women to represent themselves. Oh, wait, how do I say this? We want more women in the Mango community. All right. I feel like women are underrepresented in the crypto space, and Mango is the perfect place for everyone who's like more family oriented. Okay, that's it, right? We should stop here. Okay, wait, we should do SUI. Okay, that's it though. These are way too many altcoins for me, guys. You guys know I'm not at this phase especially. Are we going woke? You've not been watching this channel, man. Like, do you really think that just because someone wants a community to be equally represented by both genders, it's woke? Like, no. Okay, should we begin? Are there any other topics that you guys want to talk about specifically besides this altcoins? And don't ask me to talk about the whole Elon and Trump stuff. if you're forcing something, yes, it should be natural. No, I'm not forcing anything. I can't force people to join the live streams, right? I can't force people to. It's okay. By the way, I totally agree with that idea. That if you are forcing something, I'm totally against that. Like when you actually force representation by disregarding people who do want to enter a certain career, and you put in a quota kind of thing, it works to a certain extent. I get it, but when you're saying, okay, I'm going to force it, I'm going to force equal representation, even at the cost of, I don't want to get into politics over here. What am I doing, man? You're baiting me, dude. But no, I think you and I are on the same page over there. But what I'm doing over here is saying, hey, Mango is a family-friendly community, unlike most other crypto toxic communities, which, by the way, are forcing the complete opposite. They actually push people away, which is completely unnecessary. Right? I think crypto has a very, very, very toxic culture over there that needs to be ended. Like, wouldn't you want your family to feel safe joining a community that you enjoy? You'd want that too, right? You'd want your wife, your sister, your kids to be able to come in and hang out with you in a place that you love hanging out, right? And many communities don't do that. But let's let's get into what we're here for, which is the markets. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, man. I totally agree with you. We're on the same page there, but this is not that, man. I get though why you are being defensive and sensitive about it all. We are in a very, very sensitive world at the moment. So, Ajay Gopal has been around since 2015, and crypto is definitely very toxic. Yeah, man. I've been in so many communities, right? So many communities myself, and it's very toxic. Krisha does ADA better than Sean anyway. Yeah. ADA hasn't been doing anything. So I don't talk about coins that don't do anything, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I like to make money. I don't like watching paint dry. But by the way, in my opinion, there's a big trade on ADA, which is on the monthly time frame, which is why I don't cover it that much, because it's moving on the monthly. Let's talk about things that are actually moving, which is Bitcoin. We're going to go ahead over here and hit the drop down on the Mango dashboard. By the way, you guys can find the dashboard on app.mangoresearch.co. There's a free version as well as a premium version. In fact, you guys can upgrade from the free to the premium by simply inviting people. And if they join premium through your invite link, you'll find your invite link over here, a referral link under your account. If they join premium, you get premium, right? So that's one way to do it. If you go ahead and hit the drop down over here, this is the kind of picture that you are looking for, right? I'm going to go ahead and turn on the music now that we're actually starting the stream. All right. Is that good? All right. So, this is the kind of structure that you'd want to see for a strong trend, right? You're long in the weekly. We've been long for 20 days now. Long in the 4-day, neutral on the 2-day. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this. This is kind of lining up with the trade idea that I put on the Mango premium video section right over here. Daily long as well now. We're beginning to build momentum. This just flipped 4 hours ago. Previous trend was neutral. For those of you who don't know, you can hover your mouse over the trend over here and you'll see what the previous trend was, right? This was the feature that we had around 6 months ago, or maybe a bit earlier than that. 12-hour neutral, 4-hour long. So overall, this is one of the better looking coins. Like, this is probably the strongest coin. We'll take a look at maybe ETH. Let's see how ETH's doing. No, not there yet, but easier to trade. Right? This might be easier to trade. The way I'm looking at it right now, we'll go take a look at the charts. I think you guys asked for ETH. And I do want to talk about the latest feature as well on the Mango dashboard, which is the new support and resistance feature. There is no resistance, as you can see, for Bitcoin. We are in blue blue sky breakout, but the support level marked out by the dashboard. Remember, this is an algorithm that's doing it automatically for you, and this is the major support level for the highest time frame, right? So this is a high time frame support level. This is something you guys should always be keeping at the back of your mind, this support level or this resistance level, because you don't want to be trading against that, right? So for example, if Bitcoin was sitting at $84,000, right, and you're thinking of going long because of whatever you're seeing, all you have to do is come in and drop down your drop-down box on the dashboard for the asset that you're trading, and take a look at the support level printed by the algorithm. Or rather the resistance level. Let's say the resistance was at 86,000 and price was at 84,000, right? You don't want to be trading against that, right? However, if the the flip side was true, where you're sitting at, like, let's say 87,000 and your support is at 86,000, you're like, okay, cool. All of my levels, or all of my TA is telling me I should be buying here, and now the dashboard as well is confluencing with that. Wow, I like that. And by the way, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. Like, if we get down to around 86, 87,000, I would have been looking to put on a bid at around those levels. I wouldn't want price to get down there, by the way, but if it does get down there, I would be trying for a trade, a big trade over there, right? I wouldn't want price to get down there, but if it did, I would be trying for a trade there. And then I came in here and I dropped down the dashboard and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what do you know? Right here, that level is listed as well, 86,000, coming in confluence with levels I'm looking at as well on Bitcoin. So keep an eye on this, guys. Remember, this is a beta feature, and I'd like to hear your feedback. I'd like to hear whether you guys are seeing that these levels printed out are confluencing with your levels, because so far I'm finding a lot of power in this, and I'm actually very, very surprised. But I want to hear your feedback too, because you guys will be looking at other coins that I'm not looking at over here, right? So 86,000 is the level you guys need to be looking at, and the trend is looking fantastic over here, right? We can come back and take a look at this. I want to also point out to you guys the crypto fear and greed on the dashboard at the moment, sitting on greed. If you hover your mouse over the greed, you're going to see that sitting at 62, okay, 62. So this is usually not what you'd want to see if you were trading against sentiment, right? However, if you go on over to CoinMarketCap's crypto fear and greed index, we're seeing a neutral. So 55 over there. I need, could you give me some water? My mouth's really dry. If you're here. Okay, Kusha's gonna give me some water. I forgot to keep my thingy of water here. So this is a bit more promising, right? We've come down now. We just like a few weeks ago, around 2 weeks ago, we were sitting at like very high levels, close to almost 80 over here. If you take a look at the top right-hand corner, somewhere over there, can I point you at there? Right there, right? You guys can see that we were sitting pretty high up. Now, what we are seeing is sentiment has come down drastically and price not all that much. And this kind of divergence we're seeing on the oscillators as well. And I will come back to that very, very soon. I'll show you guys the oscillators and show you guys how we are printing in divergences on the mid time frames that could lead to a impulsive move to the top of the range. And then if the top of the range breaks, we could see a short squeeze going up even higher. Thank you so much, Kusha. Yeah, so we're seeing a reset of sentiment back down to neutral, while price is sitting at all-time highs. And this is a reflection of what altcoins have been doing for the most part, I think, in my opinion, because people are just not feeling that excitement, right? Usually, even when Bitcoin is doing really well, even the Bitcoiners, I think, are feeling a little bit more excited to put on trades on altcoins because they get to collect more Bitcoin, right? It's just so much easier in a bull market to collect Bitcoin with altcoins, right? I know that might sound counterintuitive to many of you, but even if you're leverage trading Bitcoin, it's difficult to collect Bitcoin because Bitcoin is going up. You need that much more in dollar profits to collect the same amount of Bitcoin, right? Which is why, by the way, I'm I'm a big fan of bear markets, because if you actually learn how to trade, if you actually learn how to trade, as opposed to just hoping for bull markets, by the way, you guys are seeing how hoping for a bull market is so devastating, right? You may never get it, especially like, all coins haven't really gone in their bull market at all. But if you learn how to trade, if you set in these rules where you say, I'm going to follow these rules based on my technical analysis. Okay, so it's not just learning how to trade. Trading plus learning how to put rules and following them, right? Because a lot of you know exactly what to do based on the TA, but you guys don't do it because you don't know what to do in regards to how to execute, right? Which is why the risk management in most other communities is so lackluster, in my opinion, because they'll spend 1 or 2 hours in the basics of how to put in a position, stop loss. That's not risk management. Risk management is a holistic strategy. It should be the foundation of what you do on top of everything else. Going back to what I was talking about. I'm losing track of what was I talking about? Collecting Bitcoin in a bear market is so much easier, because the cost of Bitcoin is going down, but your profits that you can collect on those trades, on your mid-time frame trades, is just as much, right? And I was talking to Krisha just like a few weeks ago, and this topic comes up a lot. I'm like, Krisha, you know what? Don't fret the bear market, because if you look back at every bear market that we've been through, you're going to realize that those bear markets you wouldn't take away. Like, it's scary to, or rather it feels like shit. Even while you're going through the bear market, it feels like crap, right? But when you look back at the bear market, right, I'm like, Krisha, would you take away any one of those bear markets from us in hindsight? And she stopped to think. She's like, no, damn, you're right. Like, we made a lot of Bitcoin in many of those bear markets. Like every bear market, actually. I got lucky because I was built in a bear market, right? So every single bear market was foundational for me. And I need you guys now to start having that same mindset. I'm not saying we're going to go into bear market, but it's going to come. It's going to come, and we're going to be ready. And you guys should be excited for it, because believe me, it's so much easier to make money in a bear market. That being said, we're not going to bear market. We're seeing a reset of sentiment over here, and we were talking about why the sentiment is crap. I think it's because altcoins have been doing bad in general. But if you guys have been following the altcoins that Mango has been trading, and we've been using a very, very simple philosophy, which is as long as Bitcoin dominance is trending up, we keep a small allocation of alts in strong alts, right? I'm going to show you guys a couple of strong alts that I'm keeping an eye on today. All right. Any questions before we move on? You'd like to versus me in an arm wrestle? You will beat me, because I've never ever arm wrestled anyone in my entire life. I don't know how to arm wrestle. I mean, just gotta just put your arm. You guys can't see my arm, eh? This it? Let's go down like that. I'm pretty sure there's a technique, because I've seen like some YouTube videos, right? And it looks like they use a particular technique. It's not just about having strong arms. Let's do a squat and deadlift competition, though. I could do that. Hey, bro. Big love from Cambodia. Hey, man. Oh, yeah, I could thumb fight you. Oh, I would wreck you in a thumb fight. Krisha gets wrecked every time we thumb fight. Like, I'm so good. I'm just so good. I think I'm the world's best thumb fighter. I don't think anyone... Bring on Mike Tyson, too. Bring on Mike Tyson. I'd wreck him. I'd destroy Mike Tyson in a thumb fight. Like, these thumbs, man. Oh, man. I think I'm gifted. It's one thing God gave me. All right. Let's jump on over to the monthly. Today we're going to be covering some important time frames, right? We're going to be covering the monthly, the bi-weekly, the weekly, and then the mid-time frames as well. I do want to begin with the monthly, because we had, just a week ago, we had a great monthly close. Can close high as well as a actual high. So can close high, where we closed above. We have the highest candle close in Bitcoin's history, and we put in a new high. That's exactly what you want to see as a trend trader for continuation. Moreover, this has been one of Bitcoin's simplest signatures, right? Stay directionally bullish. Okay, you don't have to put on trades based on this, right? It has worked, but you don't need to. Stay directionally bullish as long as the price is above the 10 SMA and the 10 SMA is above the 21 EMA, right? Again, we went over this over and over and over again during this entire phase over here. Our first big signal was when I posted this on Twitter too, right? Our first big signal was over here when we claimed the 10 SMA, and I said, guys, start buying, okay? Start scaling in, right? And Kush and I went back and forth over whether or not the 21 EMA was important. And in my opinion, it was important. We needed the 21 EMA to be underneath the 10 SMA, right? So we had to wait months before we can get really, really ultra, like, okay, I don't want to say get ultra bullish. We were ultra bullish. You guys know that. I'm talking about the momentum. The momentum wouldn't kick in until the 10 is living above the 21 EMA. Very simple, basic strategies, right? On how to stay directionally on the right side of the trend. And then we got this big candle here, 10 crosses the 21 EMA, and then you just stay momentumly bullish too, if that's a word. And look at this, guys. Every single test of the 10 SMA has been held by the bulls. And that's kind of what you want to, not kind of, that's exactly what you want to see. This candle over here looked shaky, had a long shadow down there. Price was living underneath the 10 SMA for the longest period during that month, but we closed above. This candle too closed above. Over here too, wicked into it, and then had a nice reaction. So nice reaction, nice reaction, nice reaction, nice reaction, nice reaction here, okay reaction here. Got a bit shaky, nice reaction the following month, right? I think we had bullish divergence here too on the charts, if I do remember correctly, and it played out. Top of the range was the target. Anyways, we're above the 10 SMA. 10 SMA is above the 21 EMA. This is picture perfect, right? So as a trend trader, it's really difficult to say, hey, I want to get bearish over here. You cannot, because we're pretty much in equilibrium too. We're going to look at the equilibrium charts very, very soon, Ichimoku, but we're in equilibrium across the time frames as well. And again, until we lose 90,379 on a monthly basis, honestly, a monthly candle close underneath there, it's really difficult to get bearish. Now, remember, guys, you guys might be saying that's really far away. That's like $15,000 away. By the time we actually do lose the 10 SMA, we'll be giving up some price. We'll be giving up some gains for sure. And if you guys remember, we followed the same strategy all the way back. Like such a simple strategy, right? We followed it back in the previous cycle, right here on this monthly close, right? That's when Mango was like, oh, remember I was like, all I want for Christmas was for Santa to keep Bitcoin above the 10 SMA. This was December, right? This was December 2021. And we didn't get it. And yeah, it was all downhill from there, right? But these simple rules can keep you on the right side of the trend. And by the way, back then, at the time, it felt like we were giving up so much, right? Because it was a $20,000 move from the high. But look at how much lower Bitcoin went after that. 67%, 68%, right? My point is, be okay not calling the top, because it's going to feel like the top anyways when you do exit in hindsight. That's the beauty of trend trading. Cambodia says, hey guys, I'm saving up for the Mango Seed program. Good stuff, man. I'm glad to hear that. Far too many people ask me about the Mango dynamic instead of asking me about Mango Seed first. I think, in my opinion, if you have to choose between, if you had to choose between the dynamic and the seed, pick the Mango Seed program. It will be one of the best investments of your life, right? It will help you with everything in your life, right? Especially with the added value of the Seed Clubhouse sessions, the access to people that you're going to get in the private chat, the friends that I've made in there, man, lifelong friends. Like, it's the best investment you can ever make. And we don't talk just about TA. We talk about everything, long-term investments, etc. And by the way, guys, I've been putting, for those of you in the Mango Seed program, I have been putting together a structured thesis for our next 10-year positioning. So stay tuned for that. I'm actually putting it down on paper and everything. I don't want to half-ass it. Of course, I won't be able to like share it all in one go, but I'll keep like putting out pieces in the Clubhouse sessions. That way I'm not hogging the mic. But yeah, going back to your question, Mango Seed program, when the market crosses the 10 EMA line, will you be doing a bear market promo for us builders? Oh yeah, actually we do. You mean for the seed program, right? Like a promo for the seed program. We do have a 20% under 21% under the 21 EMA offer that we run for 1 month. So whenever we lose the 21 EMA, we did this cycle, we did the last cycle too, right? Whenever we do lose the 21 EMA, for 1 month we run a 21% discount. Now I don't know, by the way, whether this time around we may do it on the. Yeah, we'll have to think about it. We usually do it, but this time around I'm not entirely sure, right? Because it's already. Yeah, Wolvie, you weren't there in the previous Clubhouse. People have actually been telling me that I need to up the price for seed, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, we most likely will have some promo though. Okay, we're gonna go on over to we'll do ADA at the end. But I'm going to go over to Bitcoin. By the way, you guys, for those of you who are following only ADA or only XRP, what Bitcoin does is very important to you guys. So monthly is fine. Okay, just to recap, monthly is completely fine. Candle close high. Candle high as well. Living above the 10 SMA. Everything's fine over there. You can't be bearish over here. Now, this is our next cyclical trend indicator, and we are about to close a bi-weekly in 17 hours and 56 minutes. A very, very important bi-weekly close. You guys might be saying, but Sean, we're so far away from the bi-weekly dynamic. For those of you who are new here, the bi-weekly dynamic has been our key cyclical indicator that has provided us a lot of edge. Like, it was hacks throughout this entire cycle, right? You can see over here too, respected it as resistance the entire time. In fact, had a little bit of an edge-to-edge trade over here. Claimed it, retested it, held. Big move from around 24,000, 25,000 all the way to 73,000. Retested it, held. Big move from 54,000 all the way to 107. Retested it, held. And now another big impulsive move. Now, we're nowhere close to the bi-weekly dynamic at the moment. But what's important to me is that if you go ahead and what we're going to do is turn on my drawing tools, and I'm going to go ahead and draw on a horizontal right over here. You guys can see that we had a breakout, right, out of the bi-weekly range. And one of the things I've been saying this entire cycle is these breakouts out of the range, we need to know that there's a high probability that they could break back into the range and still continue the trend, right? It's been a winning strategy to not expect the breakout level to hold, but instead to expect a dip into the range, even a close into the range, and then the trend to continue. What's happened over here is we dipped into the range, right? We tested the relevant level that you'd look for, which is the second highest candle close within the range. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is using the lower time frame 10 SMA, but let's just keep it simple for now. This level over here is what you'd be looking for to test. Now, it would have been completely fine if we even close into the range again, but it looks like the bi-weekly wants to close above the range after testing that level, which is a sign of strength. This, coupled with a few momentum moves on the mid-time frames that we'll talk about very soon, could lead to Bitcoin putting in a new high in the next week, right? We may see a big move in the next week if certain things play out. So it's time to pay attention. So this bi-weekly needs to close well though. It's done okay already. So 17 hours and 54 minutes. We have a nice little zone over here that we could close over. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it simple. Just draw on that. That's the level you guys want to look for. You can mark out the zone. You know what? Let's just go to it. All right, so we'll be looking at something like this. It's not that important, by the way, guys, that this level needs to hold and if we don't, we go into a bear market. That's not true at all. Like, we could very well come down to 93,000 and things still be fine. Okay. The thing is, and this is the difficult part about this phase. Okay. Do you guys want me to go into a little bit of an explanation or just move on to the TA? I think I'll just talk about this because people are going to get confused. Let me just, sorry guys. If you, my neck. Okay. I'm going to talk about this. Okay. At this juncture, right, of the market where we've had these massive impulsive moves, so impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation. This phase, okay, at this phase of the market, how do I best explain this to you guys? Okay, I'm going to try to draw this out for you guys, okay? So I'm going to need a reference though. So we have like something, I'm holding my pen upside down. Price has done something like, I'm gonna just need to, just give me a sec. Put this on the screen here so I can like look at it. So price has done something like, we had this is the big impulsive move, right? Then we had like the long ass consolidation around 60K. And then we had another impulsive move to around like 100K, right? Then we had a short consolidation and down. Now, here's where things get interesting. And I'm going to just try to pan this if I can. Okay. And I want to move all of this. This is good for now. Now, here's where things get interesting, okay? Price consolidated here and made a move up, right? Had price stopped over here and then put in a high low and consolidated a tad bit and then made a new high, right? At this juncture, apologies, I'm not too comfortable with this tool. If price got to this area over here and then we expect a continuation, that's completely fine. Now, I would have been like, okay, it's a good thing that price is going up, right? But this is not what price did, right? What price instead did was, I'm going to go ahead and undo everything. It consolidated. It did not stop at this juncture. It just went in and put a new high, right? This is essentially a V bottom up on the higher time frames especially. Now, because it did that, it's actually far better that price consolidates at this juncture, whether do this or whether do this, it doesn't matter, right? It can come all the way down to the level where you expected it to stop, right? Because that's essentially where you have buyers coming in on the mid time frames and the high time frames, sort of. But it doesn't matter where the price comes all the way down over here because it did not stop here when it was supposed to. Or I don't want to say supposed to. Price doesn't need to do anything you wanted to do. But structurally, continuation over here would have actually been a little bit iffy, right? Because then on the higher time frames, you would have had a massive, or rather, continuation over here would have been iffy because on the higher time frames, you just have one huge candle, which would be suspect, right? Now, what I'm trying to say is, at this juncture, when you put in a new high, I think, what was Bitcoin's high? 112,000, right? Let's just round up, 112,000. When you put in a new high, price could come all the way down to this area here, right? And then do something like this, and then go up. We don't know how it's going to consolidate, but this would be far healthier and far more structurally acceptable to me as a trend trader than prices going up in a straight line. So as a trend trader too, you don't know how it's going to consolidate. So where do you buy? Do you buy here? Do you buy here? Do you wait for this, right? There's so many ways you can hunt for a higher low, but that's your job. You're hunting for a higher low, knowing full well that price, that you could be wrong on this low and it could be lower here, or it could go up here, make you think that you got it right and then come in to make another low. So you got to guard against all of those scenarios. You cannot buy here, expect that you were right, just going to bounce and then get stopped out over here and then price bounce, right? You'd feel stupid. At the same time, you can't buy here and get stopped out over here and then price come down here and then continue like this. There's so many ways it could follow that trajectory as a trend trader, you hunting a higher low. And you got to be okay with that. So going back to the chart now, right here, we don't know if price is going to come down a bit lower and then continue or not. We don't know. All you can do is hunt for high low. You know why? Because price could come down here and still look fine. You guys can picture it in your heads too, right? Forget the candles. Just draw the line chart. Look at that. Why would this be bad? Why would this be bad, right? Don't let the candles distract you, because at the end of the day, candles are indicators, and indicators can be noise. Do you guys get my point? So yeah, there's no like any analysts out there giving you like definitives as to what price has to do. It's a big red flag. It's a big red flag. It's just what price could do and how comfortable you are with what price is doing based on your set of rules, right? All right, let's move on. So bi-weekly is fine. Okay, what I don't want happening, by the way, what I don't want happening, but could happen, is us getting a retest of this level over here, of the bi-weekly dynamic. Again, going back to our drawings, right? That would be tantamount to price over here. I'm going to change colors, not stopping here, but instead coming all the way down over here and then doing something like this. And again, it could do that, but like the people who bought over here, right? Or rather, let me put it this way, the people who did not buy over here, right? The market isn't usually that generous to give people another opportunity to buy over here when they missed buying over here for whatever reason. Market isn't that generous. This kind of move, I would only accept if it is a, I don't want to say accept, that's too strong. I would only be comfortable with it if it's like an actual market event where all markets go down, you know, where TradFi goes down, gold goes down, everything goes down, right? There's an actual event that spooks people out and we get that kind of buy opportunity, right? So that would be fine. But if we trend down there in a slow and steady way, I'd be very, very uncomfortable. I'm just giving you guys my thoughts, right? This shouldn't happen again, because then if this happens and then we break it, these guys are all going to get tested. You're going to see this happen, which is around what? 60K to 55K, right? I don't think we even hold the 70 range at that point. So you guys can see how you can just draw structure out and be a lot more objective. All right, I'm gonna move on over to the 2-day time frame. Now again, I think we talked about, okay, I want to talk about the bi-weekly for a quick bit. Now many of you insist on, sorry, the weekly time frame. We talked about bi-weekly. Many of you guys insist on trading the weekly, and I don't know why, because it's been chopping around since the beginning of the trend, which is, it's fine. You guys can use the weekly as a way to get directional bias. Now, another thing that you guys can do with the new Mango dynamic feature is go, this is the old one. Is it the old one? Okay, yeah, this is the new one. The new Mango dynamic feature, if you go ahead and turn on your settings, oh yeah, this is the new one. And you go on over to inputs, all you have to do is turn on your show entry bid ask zones under your position management settings. And you're gonna see the start bidding area get highlighted and the end bidding area get highlighted right over there. And on the weekly, it seems to have worked really well over here, right? You got a really nice wick off that level. Now again, you don't need to use the weekly to get the same edge, right? Because I use the 2-day time frame and it worked for me. And it has historically, again, this is a new feature that we did not have before, right? Seems to have worked well during the zone here over here as well. Not so much during this zone again, which is why I think using the bi-weekly, the 4-day and the 2-day time frame is the way to go. The 2-day only at this juncture, by the way. And that's kind of what I'm using at the moment. We'll switch back on over to the 2-day right over here. But yeah, we did have a nice bid that got placed on the weekly right over here if you guys were using the weekly. Me personally, I'm trading the 2-day time frame. And you guys you should know what my explanation for why I'm using the 2-day time frame based on what I talked about over here, right? Back in this phase, I wasn't using the 2-day, but I was watching it. I was using the 4-day time frame, and there was a lot of edge on the 2-day time frame. But I stuck to my rules and said, even though the 2-day is working so well, and we got that hint and that clue from SUI, because SUI worked so well on the 2-day, and Bitcoin was following exactly the same structure. But I didn't trade it. This time around, I am trying to trade it. So let's see if it works out. And so far, so good. Now, if you guys chose to use the 4-day, that's completely fine as well, because the 4-day gave you the same bid opportunity, right? With the new dynamic feature, right? With the start bidding zone coming in at around 103. You're now sitting in profits at around 105. And something else, guys, don't expect to always be sitting in. There's going to be a period of your trade where you're going to be sitting underwater. You're not going to always be in profits, right? If you need that comfort to always be right and always be in profits, you're not going to do well in the space. Or maybe try support and resistance trading, right? Over there you can be a lot more precise. But even then, price will dip underneath your level often, and you're going to be sitting underwater until the candle close, right? Or you could be wrong, and you'll have to take your loss. So you need to be okay sitting underwater temporarily before you get the big wins. But the 2-day time frame for me is what I'm looking to hold. I'm looking for Bitcoin to hold. The level that we're looking at is 98,000 for the invalidation, and your start bidding zone comes in around 103. Again, so far, so good. Again, you can see the structure over here, right? You can see the structure. Your impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation. You don't know where this consolidation ends. It could come in, do this, and I don't get stopped out there, right? And then do that. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out. So you got to manage for all of that. All you can do as a trend trader is hunt for the higher low. Me personally, I think at this juncture, with the profits I already have from sitting all the way down over here, I'm comfortable getting a little bit more aggressive and using the 2-day time frame. You can be conservative and use the 4-day time frame, and that's completely fine, right? You'll be bidding a little bit deeper, but you get protection of being wrong on your trade. So the 4-day works, the 2-day works, either or works. Hey Charlie, how's it going, buddy? It's been a while. Zenmi says, Sean, do you still think Bitcoin is following SUI? No, I don't think so. I think Bitcoin is stronger than SUI at the moment. So, as you guys know, I exit out of my SUI trade. Because SUI has lost its 2-day trend, and Bitcoin is still holding it. Ace, I was just thinking about it. In fact, the last 2 minutes was me answering your question. Oh, you're in Srinagar, eh? How are you liking it, man? You spent a lot of time in India, eh? You've been there for a while, I think. You've been traveling. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to go on over to our momentum indicators. We're going to start off with the... Okay, you know what? Okay, I'm going to start off with the daily and move backwards. We'll start off with the 2-day and move backwards, actually. Because I did put on my trade based on the 2-day time frame. Just looking at this, you guys can see that these lows over here, right? And these lows over here, they are pretty much equal lows. but on your RSI, we don't have equal lows. The lows were clearly violated. We are being supported now on the 50 level. We have divergence, right? This is bullish divergence. Low has been put in over here. Again, bullish divergence has not triggered yet. Is potential bullish divergence. So once we take out the high over here at around 106, so let's say 107, I'll be expecting 112 to get tested. Similarly, if you, and by the way, stochastics too has bottomed, and on the 2-day time frame, this has been good edge. Each time you have come down here, it has been a good sign to start accumulating price, right? Has worked over, not so much over here. You did get a small win from around, actually no, that's pretty good, 90 to 110. So worked over here too, worked over here too, worked over here too. Yeah, this has been, the stochastics on the 2-day time frame has had nice edge, guys, really nice edge. Worked over here too, damn. So this is pointing towards a high probability bounce over here as well. So it would be from around 101, 102. Let's see how far this takes us. So 2-day stochastics pointing towards a bounce. 2-day RSI pointing towards a potential bullish divergence triggering above 107. Switching on over to the daily, same story on divergence. Nice falling channel right over here. You guys can probably see it. That's broken out, right? So you're getting a front run on that call. Let's see. I'm still looking for 107 to get taken out on the daily as well. I'm going to go ahead and remove these. Now, this is where things get a little bit more murky. Things kind of flip on the 12 hour on the lower time frames, where I'm looking at more of like bearish divergence over here, right? Here you have a new high being put on RSI. Price hasn't really done that. Stochastics too, kind of hitting that resistance zone. You want this to clear resistance and start trending above it, above the 80 level, kind of like you saw here, kind of like you saw here, kind of like you saw here too. This is not a picture I like on the 12 hour, right? So the lower time frames are kind of beginning to print the opposite of the mid time frames, which is completely fine, right? That could mean we see a short lower time frame pullback and then continuation. Who knows? But 4 same story. Yeah, you can see right over here, over there. This is looking fine. Stochastics is looking fine on the 4 right? This is fine. This is kind of what I want to see actually. But here, not so much, right? Again, let's see. We need the 12 hour to pick itself up, and then the daily to push the 12 hour even further. Let's look at the 1 hour, see what's going on there. Not bad actually. Not bad at all. And this is kind of reflected on what the dashboard is saying, right, guys? Like, if you think about it, everything I went through just now, you could have got the same analysis from the dashboard. So this is a powerful tool, and we need to up the price of this tool. It's too powerful. I wish I had this when I was new, like you guys. I really wish I had this tool. Like, out of everything, right? This would have been the one thing, especially if you're new to trader and your capital is limited. This is the one thing. Okay. Of course, if you have funds for the dynamic, nothing beats this. But I'm talking about for like the cost of what the dashboard gives you. So we went through the momentum. What do I want to talk about next? Oh yeah, we got to go through Ichimoku. Man, there's a lot to talk about today. You were here, yeah. Chai says, I was here 3 years ago. I should use some child money for doing but I should use some travel money for traveling is can get expensive, right? Especially when you're flying from across the world. But hey man, like you can't think like that. You can't think like that. Traveling is probably like one of the things you can always trade. You can always trade, right? But maybe down the road you're not going to want to travel as much. There was a phase where I really wanted to travel, and at this phase of my life I can't stand the idea of traveling. So I think you got to capitalize on that mood and feeling when you get it. You just got to, you know, you got to use that to your advantage, and because you may never get that feeling again. I think it's going to be a few years before I really want to travel again. All right, let's talk about Ichimoku. Over here we have the cloud, and the bears were threatening to put in this edge-to-edge trade to the bottom of the cloud at around 93,000, but the cloud was green, and that kind of move could have happened, and they had the chance of, you know what, let's go, why is my, okay, Tenki Kijun right over here, right? So they had both, right? If we go ahead and turn off my horizontals, you're going to see that they had the bearish TK cross into cloud break, and this retest over here was the perfect opportunity for the bears to really smash price back down, and that would have been a big signal to me. Like, let's say we got a rejection over here and then close underneath 103, I'd be looking for price to test 101, lose 101, and make its way all the way down to 93 for sure. Now, I wouldn't say that that was going to happen for sure. I'll be expecting that for sure, right? Like, my expectations would line towards that. But you know, this, where the bulls reclaimed the Tenkin and now they're testing the Kijun, that's showing weakness on the part of the bears. So what the bears need to do is they need to reject this area here. They cannot let 12-hour candles close above 106, because then, like, confluencing with our momentum trade as well that we just talked about on our oscillators, that's going to push price to something like this, high, low, and then new high. Because the cloud setup is going to activate. We're going to get a double bullish TK cross above the cloud, retest the TK, if even, high, low, into new highs. So the bears need to act here if they want to see that move, right? So that there's a lot going on over here for the bears on the lower time frames that they could use to their advantage, but they can't give up the lower time frames here. The bulls are looking to, of course, use the high time frame momentum to their advantage. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the daily is saying. So 12-hour over here is still in favor of the bulls because cloud is green and bulls have claimed the Tenkin, claimed the cloud. They need to just claim the Kijun and they're back in control on the 12-hour too. Daily over here. So again, those of you who have been following me on Ichimoku for years now, you guys know that when I see something like this and price is so far away, you look for that suck into the Kumo twist, right? But you never know how deep that suck is going to be. This is about what you'd expect though, like at the minimum, which is like a good 25% from the top, 25% of the move, right? I'm talking from here to here. Like if you use a fibs, let's go use a fibs. And why is it not showing? Yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's exactly what played out. Like you have your low to your high and 25% from there. I didn't mean 25% drawdown. And that's exactly where it hit actually, 25%. Holy shit, because 0.23 is 23%, right? So that's exactly what you like look to expect from a setup like that. Why is it not deleting? Okay, there we go. From a setup like that where you have the Kumo twist and price so far away from the Kumo twist. So when I'm talking about Kumo twist, we're talking about the red cloud flipping to green. You should expect that. It doesn't mean it's bearish. It just means that you're seeing a high-low opportunity for you to trade on. And again, that lined up with what I was talking about in terms of structure over here, right? Right? When I talked about price drifting in one impulsive move and not giving you the high-low, that is what causes the Ichimoku to give you this kind of distance from the twist as well. The same thing. So all those Ichimoku concepts line up with all these structural concepts, which is why I tell people, like, you learn the Ichimoku, it's going to do a lot of work for you. Again, those of you who are on the seed program, the last module of the program is the Ichimoku system. Why? Because everything else that you learn throughout the program is foundational for Ichimoku, and everything just clicks, right? That's kind of why. For those of you who don't know, by the way, the reason, one of the biggest reasons Seed was initially created was because a lot of people wanted me to do a course on Ichimoku, right? And when I was teaching, I was like, you know what? To be able to fully understand Ichimoku, you need to understand all these other concepts too. So I started doing one concept after the other, and it was like all over the place, and I had to structure everything and redo things. Like I put my heart and soul into building that program, and it turned into what the Seed is today. But people asked me to create an Ichimoku course, so that's essentially an Ichimoku course, the seed program. Because once you learn everything else, you understand Ichimoku is a combination of trend trading, equilibrium trading, support and resistance trading. It's a beautiful system. But going back to what I was saying, got the Kumo twist play. Now, unless again the bears have this going for them too on the daily time frame, Tenkin resistance, and they've been holding it, right? The bulls need to claim the Tenkin, and until they do, the bears can look for 95,000 Kijun retest, C-span trade right over here. Cloud is still green though, right? So we could still do this, guys. Test the cloud and this, right? This would put everything back into equilibrium, because the Tenkin is going to come back down like this. The Kijun is going to go up. You're going to get a test here, maybe price, retest the Tenkin Kijun cross. You get a equilibrium of the Tenkin Kijun and cloud, price there too, and then continuation. There's so many ways this could play out. So when you draw distance like this, right, the high low could be anywhere. Not anywhere, like you don't want it to be here, because now you're violating the twist, and you could do this again, which is why I don't want price to come back down here. That's that 92 level. We talked about 88, I think. You don't want this. All right, the final thing that we're going to do today is for Bitcoin, and then we're going to go over all coins. Oh, this is a short along. You're going to watch the stream. So here we're going to go through something very simple. This is the golden cross check across the time frames. Essentially what you're looking for is the green line to be above the purple line, and preferably the yellow line to be above the green. Okay, so you want yellow, green, purple. But at the very least, you want green above purple. On the 4-hour time frame, green is above purple, all okay. So trend is completely okay. On the 6-hour time frame, purple is above the green, yellow is still underneath the green, but still good. We still have trend structure on the 6-hour time frame. On the 12-hour time frame, yellow is above the green and green is above the purple. This is perfect. So the bears are clearly losing this on a trend structure, and there's going to be a lot of work for this to undo itself, because the purple is sitting all the way down at 97. On the daily time frame, a nice splay is the word I'm looking for, right? It's like splayed out of the yellow, green, and purple. This is like really beautiful trend structure. Tested the green, bounced off it, yellow still above the green, green above the purple, beautiful. 2-day time frame, very, very far away. So this is, again, can't get bearish on this. 3-day time frame, looking fantastic. 4-day time frame, very far away, all the way down at 67,000. This is where we get into our cyclical trend, and this is looking great as well. Weekly, beautiful. We don't need to go up any further after the 4-day time frame. We can stop right there. So this is looking great. Yeah, that's it. Bitcoin looking fantastic. This is like not a in-depth comprehensive analysis, but pretty comprehensive. You guys should be sitting down and watching this, taking notes. And if you guys have any questions for the next live stream in regards to Bitcoin, just ask me. Hey, easy. How's it going, man? All right, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few alts now. An alt that I've been trading, as you guys know from the previous live stream, is SPX. Been talking about this one for a while. People have been ignoring me on this one. Got in a pretty nice position around this entire area, actually. So 50 cents I built, 50 cents, 48 cents I built a good size. And then around this zone here too, we talked about this in seed. I posted this setup. I'm going to go ahead and temporarily hide the Ichimoku. bull flag with the diagonal line, and you build in this zone over here before the breakout. Got the breakout, got the retest. Now we're back up over here as well at around 119. The daily closed well. Yeah, that was a nice daily close. This thing is trading beautifully, right? What I like about this is that you can actually trust its structural movement. Unlike a lot of meme coins that kind of like are really erratic and I can't read them. The reason I like SPX so much as an actual coin where to trend trade is because it follows structure. Like, it's beautiful, like rounded bottom, impulsive move, expected it to reject over here, and that's exactly what it's doing, what I'd expected to do. Bearish or bullish, doesn't matter, right? You know, over here too, M-like formation, breakdown, back down to the bottom range. Like, you'd expect these things to happen. It's not like, oh my God, where the hell? Like, a lot of meme coins don't trade well, so I like this one. Rejection, as expected. Let's see if we can break past this. I wouldn't expect this to have a big move until it breaks past this zone over here, which is coming in at around 155. You want to see daily candle closes above 155. Okay, now we can go on over to altcoins, the requests that we had at the beginning of the stream, but I need a break. Any questions on psychology, execution, etc.? Now is the time to ask. I'm just going to go ahead and just take a quick washroom break before we go on over to alts. Alrighty, I am back. Pro Bitcoin says, Cotty, please. Oh, we took a bunch of requests at the beginning of the live stream, and to be fair to folk, I only take requests at and to be fair to myself as well, I only take requests at the beginning of the live stream. Otherwise, I'll just have to like keep doing requests, right? People keep asking, and I struggle to say no, right? I feel bad to say no, so this is the best way for me to manage my own energy as well. So Michael says, I feel like SPX is worth playing cyclical despite it being a meme. Yeah, Most definitely, because if you even take a look at previous cycles, there were memes that once they caught a hold of a certain cult-like audience, they just kept going and going and going, and they held better than many other altcoins through the bear market as well. Now, I'm not saying hold these coins through the bear market, but that goes to it just points to the power of the actual holder base as opposed to fundamentals in the space, which is a big discussion that we need to have, and we will have another time. But at the end of the day, you're going to have like a couple of few major altcoins or coins that you want to collect, right, long term. And those coins may not do well entirely well this cycle. They'll do well, but not entirely well this cycle, right? But they may do extremely well the next cycle. So if you fundamentally believe in a certain coin, whether that be Cardano, whether that be XRP, you guys should have a long-term view on that. You guys should have like a 15-year horizon, a 10-year horizon, whatever that may be. And your coin, expecting your coin to do well every single cycle, right? This is something really important to understand, guys, okay? If you strongly believe in your coin, you've done your research, your hard work, etc., your groundwork, your due diligence, and you truly have a long-term horizon. You shouldn't need your coin to do well every single cycle. In fact, if it doesn't do well every single cycle, that might be the opportunity for you to collect more of that coin while other coins are doing well, right? Because if you can use something like Shiba Inu or SPX or DOGE that just goes berserk for just no reason, like mania, whatever, call what you want, call what you want to call it, a revolution, whatever. If it does well and you can go ahead and take those profits and collect the coin that you do believe in long term, that's good for you, right? Because the coin is cheaper, so you can collect that much more. A great example would have been Bitcoin last cycle had a pretty subdued move from 20,000 to 50,000. Everybody expected it to move to 100,000 last cycle, but all those profits that I got from Sol, etc., allowed me to collect that much more Bitcoin than I otherwise would have been able to if Bitcoin moved up to 100,000, right? Because the profits from Sol would not have counted for that much. Now in hindsight, right? Like when I look back in hindsight, I'm like, oh, thank God Bitcoin didn't do all that well because I was able to collect that much more Bitcoin, right? So you need to use the whole market that is available to you, even if you're fundamentally bullish only on one coin. Now, I'm not saying spread your bets like that. What I'm trying to say is be a lot more mango about it, right? This cycle, we identified that Bitcoin was going to do extremely, extremely well, right? Or rather, we were trading the trend on that. That's what we did with Sol too. We said, hey, from what we are seeing on our TA, if you are having an allocation towards ETH, right? We said this to the entire Mango community back in 2023. Because in the bear market, what people start off with is a simple allocation of Bitcoin and ETH. I'm like, guys, you need to allocate all your ETH into Sol. And then switch back later if you want to. My mouth's so dry. I need to stop soon. So even if you are an ETH holder, an ETH believer, you are so much better off if you follow that strategy because you like tripled your ETH stack, right? So that's what I mean, right? Use the market at your to your advantage. When you see those kind of high probability asymmetric upside trades, there's no reason to not take advantage of it. There's risk for sure, but not if you do it the Mango style. All right, let's get into the list. The first list is First on the list is ladies. Let's go. Is it here? Is it on the dashboard? It's not on the dashboard, eh? Right off the bat, that's not a good sign for the coin. But let's see. We can use this. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the Ichimoku announced on SPX. Green cloud on the daily and on the 12-hour green as well, looking good. So, like, we can go into the nitty-gritties of this, but we'll do that next stream because I don't have time. Ladies. Okay, it's trading on Several. So this would have been great if it held here at the very least, man. Like, it should not have lost this level here. That's kind of what's worrisome. It had nice edge to edge. This is on the daily. Let's see the 12 hour. Yeah, lost the 12 hour cloud as well. Holding 12 hour 200 moving average. It needs to hold this. You do have this falling channel onto the 200 moving average on the 12 hour time frame, which is, it needs to hold this. It needs to reclaim the Tenkin. And then you'll have a move to the Kijun at around 561. So Tenkin coming at 468. Then here, that would line up with the daily reclaiming. Like, it shouldn't have done this, but it has. And if you're in this, you don't want it to lose this level, because then it's coming all the way back down to the bottom of the range. Like, a falling channel could keep falling. You want to see this bounce on the 12 or 200 moving average, right? Kind of already violated it a bit, but you see two candle close. If it loses the 200 moving average from this juncture here, right? Especially if you see two candle closes here, I'd just be out of this coin. It doesn't matter if it bounces after. It's not trading well. Maybe on the higher time frames. Just go take a look at the higher time frames. If you bought it here, that's fine, because there's like monthly support, but I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. Like, not a big fan. You wanted to dump? Okay, if you're shorted, then great. But don't tell me you wanted to dump because you want to buy it cheaper. Don't say that, because if this monthly close is underneath 257, this is dumping to zero, man. This is gonna go to because this is gonna be a bear flag that breaks down. I hope to God it doesn't for all the ladies holders, but no. Doge. Let's do Doge. No. It's short across all time frames except the 4 hour. No. Just no. Just no. Yeah, I don't like this rejection on the monthly. Bi-weekly high or low. It should have held. It should have held 19 cents. Like, if this recovers, it's going to be because market sentiment recovers, not because this coin is strong. So no. Remember what our strategy is. Our strategy is we're going to have a small allocation into strong alts, as long as Bitcoin dominance is doing well. Okay, small allocation in strong alts, not a strong allocation in all alts. That time will come. This is not the time, right? So no. Not looking good. Yeah, there you go. It's underneath the 4-day dynamic, underneath the 2-day dynamic, 12 hour 2, weekly, underneath the weekly dynamic, underneath the bi-weekly dynamic. Holy shit, no, just no. Maybe you can trade this on the monthly or something. Maybe if like a DOGE believer, you can trade, you can wait for 9 cents. Wait for 9 cents. You don't want to buy here. Yeah, no. So, nope. We did this one. So yes, that's looking good. Let's look at XRP. XRP is trading on the bi-weekly, and XRP is in a precarious position as well, in my opinion, at the moment, unless it starts making its chart look less droopy, right? Because this candle over here, not to my liking, if I had to be honest with you, but guys, but the fact that the bi-weekly dynamic is holding is still okay, yeah, but 2-day has given up the 2-day dynamic. Ichimoku, let's go take a look at the Ichimoku. This is kind of fine. It's consolidating. Daily, why? Yeah, you see, guys, when I don't like something, I just don't like it. But I like it here. On the, this was questionable. It needs to. Okay, I'll tell you guys what I want to see on XRP. And this is why you guys like Krisha more than me, because I give you guys the harsh truth, and Krisha will sugarcoat things. I remember I was bullish when you guys were bearish during this phase here. Okay, I said this was a good buy. It was a very good buy. But over here, we need to see a bi-weekly above this. Like, you cannot get too aggressive on this. You can only buy lower until we close about 2.4. Bi-weekly about 2.4. And then I want to see the high getting taken out with at least a wick. This needs time. This needs time. So I would draw this as neutral. What color do we use for neutral? Neutral. Sol. Actually, let's take a look at the dashboard, right? I mean, is this what it's come down to, guys? Is this what this space has come down to? That the strongest coins are SPX and Fartcoin? Like, yo, you gotta dump this, man. Sol needs to claim bi-weekly. At least it's clean. At least it's clean. At least it's clean. The monthly will give you hope, right? It's consolidating in the monthly. Like, this recovery was great. So for Sol, there's like a cyclical play over here. It's kind of like, you can treat it like a foundational base of your portfolio, right? For those of you doing that, having like a bigger altcoin allocation in like 3 majors, right? Where you guys have 70% Bitcoin, 10% in ETH, that's going to 0. So that's out. Sol, 10%, that has hope. Actually, I don't know. I'm kidding about ETH. Like, we'll take a look at ETH. ETH has been actually stronger than Sol, right? Recently, like, let's go take a look at Purpleist, I think. I will think of ETH Sol here. I don't maintain my list at all anymore, because they're mostly, all coins are trash now. Like, I have Brett here. Why the hell do I have Brett? Oh, whoa, this is not looking too bad on the monthly. Hey, cheers, Matthew. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. And the love, more importantly. The appreciation is what. I'm just tired. I'm just so tired, guys. I'm just so tired. I've done so much today. What are we looking for? Yeah, ETH Sol. ETH Sol. Yeah. Take a look at this, guys. Yeah, so I'm looking at these lows over here. Sorry, these highs over here. These lower highs over here to be claimed. And if you do get that, right, that could be a big sign, right? Then this one is going to be next. So we're looking at ETH versus Sol over here. Okay. But we're talking about Sol. Talking about just Sol. Sol USDT. My bad. I'll stay on topic. Come on, Sean. Shake out of it. Bi-weekly looking like complete crap. So I wouldn't be trading this on a monthly basis, or definitely a 3-month basis either. But if you're trading for the cycle, for the rest of the cycle, like 6 months or something, this is not bad. This is looking good. So it's holding, right? Could make its way to the top of the range. And if it breaks the top of the range, could go further. So not bad. I don't like this though. So there's no trade to be had on the short term, clearly. It's neutral. So that's kind of what the dynamic is telling you to, neutral. Let's move on. What's the next one? I would say like N minus. Rate this an N minus. This is like nope, HBAR. Let's go take a look at HBAR. Jesus. Whoa, what are you guys saying, huh? It's been on a weekly downtrend for 90 days. 90 days. And you would have been up 17%. and this is probably after it bounced, right? Because things bounce because Bitcoin's bounce. Look at the new support. Oh yeah, we should be looking at the new feature, right? Support's at 5 cents and price is at 16 cents. Resistance, it's at, okay, this is a real good example of how you use this. Price is at 16.9 cents, 17, right? And resistance is at 17 cents. And this is your trend. It's a nope. 17 cents, 17 cents. Nope. We add resistance to trend. The trend algo being no. Hell no. Sir, hell no. Okay, let's look at the chart though, because I'm pretty sure the chart looks way better. Right? Right, guys? Right? Hell no bar. No? Should be a meme coin. Oh my god. You guys need to join this channel here, this Discord here. So you guys, yeah. Nah, man. If it comes down here to 13, no, not 13. It needs to be, you see this juncture here? That's what you guys need to be trading. Oops. That's the daily. Yeah, so if it loses 15, that's a big move down to 12. It loses 12, it's a big down to 5, yeah. Loses this, guys? Man, why are you guys doing this to me? You guys are making me feel like we're in a bear market, man. Holy crap. This looks like bear market shit. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Also on a bear market, man. This... You guys just kill my mood. You guys just kill my mood. Holy shit. Like, don't... Like, listen, guys. Be happy. Right? Just watch strong coins. If a coin starts looking bad, stop trading it. Unless it's like... Unless you guys have fundamentally have strong belief in that coin, right? And I want to know that you guys put in at least 1,000 hours studying that coin. Like, you needed to have spoken to the CEO. I've spoken to the CEO of Bitcoin. I've spoken to Satoshi. I have him on speed dial. You need to be going for the centralized meetings, shareholder meetings, you know, bribing the CEO, all of that crap. So HBARs are no. SUI. I talked about SUI. SUI's not all that bad. SUI's not all that bad. SUI's one of the bad ones. Let's see what the dashboard's saying. Yeah. Long on the 4-day at the very least. Right. Long switching momentum on the 4-hour, 12-hour daily. Short on the short on the 2-day time frame, and we kind of front ran that, right, because the dynamic gave us a nice exit on our SUI trade. So we've made good money on SUI. See, I was right. I told you guys. We made good money on SUI. It gave us really nice trend trades on the 2-day. Took it once all the way to the top, and then took our profits. So basically our target was $2 as long as 2-day dynamic holds. Hit both, lost the 2-day, boom. And then boom, right? Again, reclaimed it all the way to the upside. This time our target did not hit. We were looking for 7 to 750. But hey, great profits anyways. And then as soon as we lost the 2-day, follow the same rule and downtrend. Now, here's the thing. We lost the 2-day dynamic here, downtrend. Lost the 2-day dynamic here, downtrend. Some of you asked me, hey, Sean, but SUI barely moved this time. Why would you exit? I don't care. I put on the trade, yes, but we lost the 2-day dynamic. I don't care. Like, I'm not going to violate my rules, and I'm not going to force this asset to do something it doesn't want to do. It clearly wants to keep going down. So now, if you guys are trading on the 4-day, that's a different story, right? I actually lost the 4-day too. Damn, so there you go. It lost the 4-day, lost the 2-day. There's no like mid-time frame momentum trade on this one. What you guys could do is trade the bi-weekly on this one, right? I'm not, but it is holding the bi-weekly. I'm just not trading the bi-weekly. It lost a 2-day, and I'm not interested. So I'm not saying it's bad. It could do great because the bi-weekly is holding. Remember, Sol is not holding the bi-weekly either. It's only XRP that's holding the bi-weekly so far, right? XRP and SUI. So those are the strong coins you should be looking at. Zenmi says, I cannot imagine what also will do when BTC goes down to 93K. Bitcoin dominance also going up. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance. Exactly. Why you guys keep it simple? See, look at how the views are dropping because I'm calling them all out on their shit coins. Man, your streams are great. Perfect info. What's having fun? Not for everyone. Not for everyone, man. Yeah, that's it. We got through all of them. Holy shit. We got through all of them. We're not taking any more altcoin requests. We took altcoin requests at the beginning of the stream. So I did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 altcoins. And did some structural analysis too. I think we can wrap up here. But I will take questions on like psychology and random stuff if you guys have any. If you guys don't have any, we'll just wrap up. We covered XRP, man. Let's see what the dashboard is saying for XRP support levels. New feature on the dashboard for those of you who are just tuning in. Support is at 54 and resistance at 2.3. 54, isn't that really far away from price? 2.2, yeah. So we do have more like mid-time frame support that we can take a look at. You can use the bi-weekly dynamic for that. I don't think I read out the level, right? The red zone, still lining up with the red zone at $2, 1.9-ish to be more precise. But the dashboard's looking all the way down here. If you lose that level, that's where I'd be looking at too. Krisha wants to join in on the stream, guys. No, she's putting the flag on me. All right, guys. With that, we're gonna be calling it. We gonna be wrapping up. Thank you all for joining. Remember to smash the likes. Smash the subscribe if you haven't yet. You guys have an awesome day too. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Zenmi. Thank you, Wolvi, Ajay. I'll see you guys in the next one. And hey, have a great weekend. Have a great Sunday. We have a great, very important bi-weekly close coming up. Remember what we're looking for? Remember what we're looking for? Monthly close as well. Bi-weekly is right here. Remember. Ciao. I'll see you guys in the next one. Exhausted. I'll see you guys in our Discord, themangoway.com/Discord. Oh, I think I'm still live. Damn. Yeah, I'm still live. So I get to say, keep it mango. Keep it, I'm forgetting my catchphrase. Keep it mango, keep it easy, keep it stress free. Ciao.